Content Catchup.
Well, friends and enemies, welcome back. Last week we attempted to go live and it wasn't a complete failure because we got an episode up, but it's great to be back in our normal setup. Julian, welcome to the show. How are you going this week?
Feels a lot more comfortable being back pre-recorded, doesn't it?
No, not as much nerves in the air.
Not as much nerves. Not as much swearing at the computer because fucking OBS won't go into Zoom, which won't go into YouTube. Look, I do have to apologise once more, but my new tactic is let's just go live on Instagram from now on.
So I agree with you, but I want to give it an early egg to you because, to my knowledge, you were in isolation. Did you not have all day to set this up? It was a bit nervy to bring this up on the night because tensions were high, but let's relive it.
Well, I did have all day technically, but I would also like to say that I was working all day.
Were you? On a weekday? I mean, a weekend?
It was a week. It was Friday. Return egg. Don't you know your days of the week?
No, it was also,
a Friday
it was a public
night.
holiday. It was a public holiday.
Because
I was at my mum's. Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, there's that Carlton employer of yours got to give you a bit of time off.
Yeah,
Your manager
Carlton,
needs to treat you better.
Give us some time back. Nah, but I do apologise. One day we'll get it right, won't we? That's
all right. Next time we'll do it in one house, I think.
Yeah, I think... Look, that was supposed to be the plan. We were supposed to do it in the studio, and then there would be none of this, like, bullshit back and forth of who can hear who. We'd just have straight out. Let's plan it better. We'll do it in the studio next time. Yeah,
no, that's fine. How are you? Back to normal life things. You got over COVID. Congrats.
Yeah, got out. We made it through. Yeah, feeling better. Went for my first run today.
Yeah. You look. Were you rusty? Sorry to cut you off.
I was rusty. It did take a bit to get the old legs going, and I didn't feel great. So I reckon that's probably a good sign that I did have the old fucking spicy cough, even though it was confirmed.
As you'd expect.
It was as you expect, but had to get back into it because Bucks running the Great Ocean Road half marathon in under a month. So it's on the 14th of May. So coming up 3 weeks now. So
it's tomorrow.
Had to get some K's in the leg. So I had to ignore a bit of the old health and safety advice, exercising post-COVID, and just get straight back into it.
Look, as long as you're all right, that's fine.
We'll see. We'll see in 5 to 10 years. What about you, Bucks? What's news in your world?
Well, good news is that I can start to live my life. So saw the physio about my knee, and I can basically do everything besides run and play sport. So you'll be seeing more of me at the office. Don't know if that's
Wonderful.
Good news or bad news for you, but yeah. Apart from that,
it's good news. Of course, it's good news.
Thank you. Thanks, Jules. Be good to be back. I'm sure I've been missed, but apart from that, not a whole lot going on, I must admit. Look forward to get back into it, I think.
Bit of playoffs basketball this week.
Yes, being home has been great for that aspect, I must admit. I've seen most of the action, and we'll probably bring it back up in our content soon, but it's been good.
I have to admit, I did tune into a little bit on Friday. It was intense. It's I know that's a silly thing to say because
you surprised?
It's finals basketball, but it was. I watched the Timberwolves. Who'd they play? Grizzlies. That was a great game, and then backed up by the Golden State game after that. That was good as well. Your man Draymond Green, favorite
slappable Draymond Green, as we found out on the IG Live. Hey, question off the cuff. NBA playoffs. So for those that aren't aware, they brought in a play-in game. I think this is the second season. Might have started last year.
Is that like a wild card game? Is that explain that for people who might not know?
So easy way to explain it. Basically, top 8 teams make finals like AFL, or they go to the playoffs. Actually, I don't know if 8's the right number. Anyway, a certain amount of teams go through, but instead of them automatically going to the playoffs, the 9th and 10th seed have a chance to make the playoffs. So typically, if you're 9th or 10th in your conference, you're knocked out, like AFL. The playing games mean basically there's one game, which is very abnormal for NBA. Usually it's a best of 3, best of 5, whatever. One game to see who gets through. and that basically just ups the ante completely. And fans have loved it.
I think it's a good idea. Here's
So-
your absolute final chance.
Yeah, exactly. So, question to you: would it work? Other sports, AFL. I think that'd be great.
Well, I think a bit of like you always see that mad dash towards the end of the year where like 8th and 9th place, especially in the AFL, are playing off, and it's like one game separates from 6th till 9th. Imagine if that was a play-in game instead, or if you finished with the same amount of percentage you had to play off for your spot, or same points but different percentage. I don't know. I think there's definitely place for it. It's almost similar to like in like that. What's that? Like the thrill of it all. Like in the I think it's the English Premier League where they have relegation if you don't finish above a certain spot.
That's right. Yeah, we're
The
not.
AFL needs some spice like that.
Yeah, you're right though. Like the end of the season game sometimes can be like that play-in feel anyway, like to get through. But
Yeah.
maybe if there was a way to add in one extra game that it was win it all or lose it all, like finals or not. But yeah, I can't see why it couldn't work.
Yeah. Oh well. We're not here to here to discuss the rules of a good topic, but we're not here to discuss the rules of AFL or NBA Bucks. What we're here to do is actually talk about some content, and fitting that we just started with the NBA because your friend and you're modeling his fine apparel today, NBA Paint. I've just discovered his TikTok. And if we thought his tweets, or sorry, I shouldn't assume it's a he, their tweets were great, their TikTok's even better. So this is one I stumbled across in my 3 hours of TikTok.
Excuse me.
It's for
It's funny already.
Thanks, Bucks. This one's for Jason Tatum. And he's made this they've made this interface where it's a really shittily drawn Windows layout with paint coming up, just to show the process of them actually creating the Jason Tatum. It's like he's got this little window that says brief, and it's just got Jason Tatum written in it.
They're
and then
so
he just
good.
Draws in the Jason Tatum. It's just quality, like how it's made. Like no one was ever asking how this was made.
Yeah, we know
so
how
simple,
it's such a good point.
But they've turned it up and just gone, nah, fuck it. Like everyone else gets to have a process video. Why can't I?
I want to let's listen to the sound on because it sounds even funnier.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, gimme.
They're honestly one of my favorite, like on like social media pages from the last 6 months or whatever they first started. They've probably been out around a lot longer than we realized, because I remember when we first brought them up. Don't know how long ago that was, but I love them. And Zach Labine for the people playing at home on YouTube.
At home.
Great merch. Check out his merch store.
Tatum.
Did not get Jason Tatum.
I think I think the clever thing about this is this person has obviously found this very, like, it's a niche that they're operating within. Like
Very
this
niche.
very small bandwidth of things that they can do. They can never do like real high quality stuff. They're never going to really do like ultimate stuff. But they're taking this for a ride, and they're continuing to innovate like the small area that they have. And make it as entertaining, because there's risk with all these like trending kind of accounts that they're just going to go, they just get boring, right? Whereas this is, I've not seen one of their pieces of work that I haven't found entertaining.
This is what's so impressive about it, because it's so easy just to give up, especially if it was something as, let's be honest, as stupid as this when you first started it. And you'd be like, what the hell am I doing with my time? Like, what am I wasting here? What's the chances it's ever going to get off the ground? And here we are. But
Here we are. So that's one of my favourite ones from this week. And I have to admit, their playoffs, I think they've changed their name on Twitter to NBA Playoff Paint or something like that. So
yeah,
they're really taking it for a wild ride.
well, a lot of teams use them for their, like, let's just say game day graphics and stuff like that. Like, I think the Bulls have done a bit of work for them. So it's pretty amazing what they've created. What else you got?
Another quick one, and I want to get your thoughts on this. So this is the New York Jets NFL team. So 1 week till draft day, and this is the caption of it. So NFL draft is coming up. 1 week till draft day, in brackets, reminder social team doesn't have roster input. Probably need the sound on this one.
It's fun.
I take the ball, I bounce it, I shoot, I miss it. I take the ball.
Bit
So
of
what they're calling out here is that obviously as a social team and a content team, one of the annoying things you have to do in the lead up to any trade, sign, draft period is do like a mock of what's going to happen, what could potentially happen, look at all the possibilities and how or why they might happen. And the comment sections on these, as any content producer would know, is always just people going like, oh, get this person, get that person, get this thing. And it's part of me, and this is what I want to get your thoughts on, is like, yeah, people should realize they're not actually talking to the team or the team manager when they're on social media. But there's also like been studies done where social media accounts, particularly of athletes or celebrities or sports teams, people actually see them as a person rather than like a group of people operating or like just a information page. They tend to see them as a person. So when they log on and start making comments like this, they actually think they're talking to a person. So question for you, Barks, on the spot. Do you think this type of content where it calls out people and followers in a real kind of self-fulfilling way, is it beneficial at all?
I think so. I think it's like, I've never understood why people would go to the effort of getting annoyed at like bad news that clubs tweet out to the person behind the account. I've never understood that. So I think anything that sort of can provide that clarity, even though it shouldn't require explaining that there is an innocent person behind the account that's got essentially no idea of, like, for this mock draft, for example, they don't have any input into what players or moves they make. So I think anything that provides that bit of, I don't know, pushing back in the fans' face that, like, don't get annoyed at us, I like it. I think it's fun.
You like it?
I like it.
Do you think it changes anything, though?
Like the way people react with or engage with accounts?
Yep. Interact, yeah.
I think they're all, not really. I think there'll always be idiots out there. Like, I don't know how much. Maybe if you just non-stop do this kind of stuff, it'll eventually get to the point. But I don't know. What do you think? Like, because I think if you saw this and you're one of those people to complain to a tweet about player getting injured for 3 months, would you stop doing it, or are you just set in your ways?
I don't think you'd stop doing it. I think the people that comment on stuff are always going to comment on stuff. I'm in two minds about it. I really enjoy it as like someone who works in the industry and like deals with this stuff non-stop. But I also like as a fan. Oh shit! As a fan, I think
fucking
like,
pissed off.
Fuck this microphone. As a fan, I think like this content doesn't speak to me. Really, it's like
okay.
It's not funny for me unless I'm in the industry looking at it. That's where my split brain is going. It's like I love this as someone who works in the industry, but if I were not in the industry, I wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I think I'd get it, but you'd sort of you might just be like, oh, so what? I don't know. Yeah, I think you've got a point, but. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't mind it, but yes, that's probably just me speaking because I'm in the industry.
In the industry, yeah. That's all my point is. Like, if you're looking at this like as an individual bit of content, you think, great, it's fun, but it's only meant for like 5% of your audience, which, in fairness, is fine. Like, you can still segment your audience however you want when you're doing content.
Yeah.
But, like, you just probably got to be aware that like it doesn't speak to 95% of it, and are you going to put all this effort into? Well, it's not that much effort, but you're going to put effort into making content that only speaks to 5%.
I was going to say, actually, that counts. It sort of counts what you just said. Like, the effort to make this TikTok for a platform like TikTok, that's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fun. And it's meant to be a bit of fun. So, yeah, why not?
And then the last one, just a a cool use of drones, and just to a USFL, which is some sort of amateur or amateur football league or some sort of football league in America.
Bit of spider cam
obviously
feel.
Bit of spider cam. I mean, obviously they don't have the same stadium features as the big leagues where they have the cameras hanging down from the roof and all that. So they've been pretty innovative here and used a drone to kind of follow the play. Nothing groundbreaking, but I just thought it's a kind of cool bit of use of technology and to provide like a different look at the play and make the most of what you have.
Yeah, absolutely love it. But where they fall down in like this type of stuff that we've seen in the past is if they use it during live action. Like, do not show me this camera angle during live action. Like, I think that's I'm sure everyone agrees. Like, just don't use this camera angle to watch the sport because it'll just annoy you. Like, it's really cool, and if it's just for your socials, like a replay angle, absolutely.
I 100% agree, and you can see with this version, if you look at the big screen as it flies by, they've just got that typical like side view of the pops up just above there. Yeah, they just got the side view, which is what you want. Like, you don't want it to take away from the experience at the ground, but you're right. Like, as a replay or as a little highlights package, that's a cool video.
You know what's really funny about this though? Like, it looks great when it's accurate and catches the play, but imagine watching live sport and then obviously with someone controlling a drone and you miss it. Like, there's going to be times where the drone will just completely miss what you're meant to be watching. But
you got to have a really skilled hand, don't you?
Yeah. That's why there's actually a good Twitter following. Oh, what's it called? But it's just literally something like behind the camera where it's exactly this type of example where they'll show the person their screen of trying to, like, imagine like a video game of like a drone of actually trying to follow the play. They just show behind the scenes stuff. I think I've talked about it.
You've brought that one up. Yeah.
All right, let's continue the NBA train quickly. This is just two really quick pieces of examples that's probably not much of a talking point, but I just wanted to acknowledge how skilled people are out there, and NBA playoffs is a great time to showcase your skills. First one from
best of the best.
They are the best of the best. But just a bit of real insight. This one's a great behind the scenes look at a video made. But so, not sure what this is used for. Looks like an external company who's tweeted it. But for the Philadelphia 76ers, they've sort of given a breakdown of how they have blended multiple shots of players in this sort of, looks like this, don't know what sort of train station vibe, where I'd imagine it's going to be used for some sort of ad, but the final product has multiple players in these sort of weird positions in this big warehouse / train station, and they're sort of throwing the ball to each other, like one's on top of the rafters. Hey. I'll give it a watch here, but it's basically how they made this video so clean, but it's all actually different shots. So I'm not sure if this is going to make sense to the people listening to the audio, but probably definitely one worthwhile that we could just chuck up on our socials or YouTube. But it's pretty amazing, like just how things are done. So I don't know what type of camera or equipment they've made, but they've used green screens to sort of implement the different players' shots separately into one scene is the best way I can explain it. Is that poorly explained, Jules? Is that how you explain it?
Yeah, no, that's it's definitely one you're going to have to watch if you're listening at home. But yeah, I think you've explained it well. Like, they're basically, I don't want to re-say what you say, but like, you've explained it.
It's just impressive. Check it out.
Impressive editing.
It's very impressive editing and amazing what people can do.
I do love, before you shut it, the use of hashtags. This would send Edwin over the...
Yeah, read them out.
Hashtag. So 76ers VFX breakdown. Hashtag cinematography, hashtag Philly, hashtag Sixers Nation, hashtag NBA, hashtag 76ers, hashtag NBA playoffs, hashtag Sixers. They've got hashtag basketball, hashtag behind
making
the
of,
scenes, hashtag making of, hashtag VFX.
You know, it's probably a really good exercise for people doing this to just do exactly what you just did just then and read it out and see how it sounds for reading it out. Because that's essentially what you're writing. But
So Twitter's got 280 characters, and rather than give like some
it's great.
insight into what's they've put
got
like
the
half of their
hashtags.
characters in hashtags. But great content.
Yeah, great content. Just you need to contact Edwin how to tweet.
Yeah.
Second one, really quick from the Golden State. Just again, After Effects, some sort of program like After Effects, turning a player celebrating into some sort of I got this wrong before the show, Jules. What's the word? Like a Marvel character?
Yeah, like it looked like some Avengers style end game dissolving, but
so it's just a close up of one of their players screaming at the camera, and as he screams, he just sort of dissolves / turns into this otherworldly creature, and it just looks like something from a movie. Like, I don't know how they do it, but that looks like the type of visual effects we're talking from a movie.
Yeah, it's I think it's part of their theme of the playoffs is like gold, be gold, or become gold, or something like that. They're really gold-blooded. That's what it is. They're really busting out all the stops, Golden State Warriors. I think they're just very happy to be back in playoffs basketball, and clearly their social team is built
thriving. Built, yeah. Real like Nick Bollock speak then, how like it's just everything's just full of these motivational phrases. But that just it just goes to show that the talent on these content producing teams, especially in America, and the budget that they have to employ creatives, like movie-esque. Like it's just impressive.
Privatization of sport, my friend. Privatization of sport. That's where we need to get to.
Go into that. Before we go into Egg of the Week, we missed something in the intro. Discord. So I just wanted to...
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to run back over that. We've basically launched, for whoever hasn't used Discord, it's basically just this big online community that we can just talk about anything, obviously content-wise, but I guess it's just the aim of it, why we've launched our own content catch-up channel, is just to build a community, talk to you fans, I guess, a bit more, or listeners, and create more of a community. We can sort of put questions in there. We can talk about whatever. So go to Twitter, Instagram. We've put both our links in our what's it called? Linktree.
Linktree. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, but basically join it. See what it's like. If you don't, piss off. We don't need you. But thanks for everyone who's joined already, by the way.
Absolutely, and also if you've got friends or who are also in the industry or content creators of any sort, feel free to invite them. The more the merrier at this stage. Barks has done a good job, set up a couple of different channels, I guess that's what you call them. Yeah. So it's not just for... It's around photography, videography, design. We've got a couple of discussion boards set up there. So, jump in. And if you are in the AFL, we do have a specific AFL one, which is just myself, Barks, and Tom Robertson at the moment. So we're having a great time.
But the aim with that is if there was enough, say, NRL people to join basketball, that there'd be separate groups that either private or public, depending on, I guess, what they are. And then, as you mentioned, there's photography, there's whatever else. So if you have a photography-based question, the aim is to go into that group or that channel. You can ask a technical question that probably half the other people don't care about because they don't know, but the photographers can go to that chat and be like, yep, I can help with that.
Exactly. Or if you need to find someone that can help you out, like if you need a photographer.
Yep.
Like if you're up in Brisbane
point.
and you've got, you know you're going to be running, you just get in touch with Casey straight away.
Casey straight away continues to do brilliant stuff. Casey, so much stuff that she posts. You don't even need to like athletic. Yep, netball. But another shout out for you, Casey. Egg of the week. Let's jump into
Egg of the week.
Right?
Let's roll into it. Yeah. So this one came from a friend of the show, an all round good guy, James Cripsy Williams. He wanted us to talk about, and for non-fans of the AFL, there's been a bit floating around on social media about the Essendon Bombers, my team, smiling after their loss to Fremantle last weekend. Bad loss. After the game, they were all talking to opposition team members and smiling, laughing, etc., etc., etc. But
good pronunciation.
I've got my views on this. But I want to take it away from just like obvious opinions on whether having a laugh with after a game is acceptable or not. And I want to know, like, as a content producer, say you're Essendon, how do you deal with the media backlash and the fan backlash around having a good time after a loss?
How would I do it, or how do people
Yeah.
deal with it?
Yeah, would that impact your content for the week? What do you think?
I don't think... I think you can either go the way of not doing anything because it honestly doesn't deserve that attention, or if you were cheeky enough, and I would consider this, you'd make fun of it somehow. So if there was some way, I mean, probably not ideal if you're losing, but if it was just one loss, if there was some way to sort of mock the seriousness of it, I think that's an option. But
Clever.
best, yeah, GSB, that's clever. But I think that's a sponsor from Carlton, if anyone's wondering what I'm on about. But yeah, I think best case scenario is to ignore it, especially if you're not going well, and just don't give it any attention. But if you do have a bit of cheek in your brand, then poke fun at it, because it's sort of my biggest thing on this is that it contradicts everything of the Australian sport landscape, that we want them to be more open, we want players' personalities to come through, and then the minute they do, it's just like, oh, how about this guy? He just lost, and now he's laughing.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think touching on like the reaction to it, we also speak so much about like mental health and protecting players, and if you're in the public and you're saying, oh, like, why are they smiling after a loss? Like, would you rather them sulk over it for another... you got to move on, right? It's just a game at the end of the day. It's a game, number one. Number two, like, they're all seeing friends that they've grown up playing football with, and that's a great thing about modern day athletes. So we've gone past this like silo of, oh, you only play for one team and they're your only friends, and adopting like a much more almost NBA model where they might catch up in the off season and train together and spend time together, go to other games. Like it's a greater community for that, and the content that can come out of that is much more special, and that's what we've got to realize, like to your point. And yeah, I think like you don't want to give it the time of day if you're a content producer, but you're right, if you can find something to have a little bit of fun. But I feel like supporter groups are too sensitive just at the moment to be too cheeky with it.
Maybe if you win the next week, you could do it. Maybe you could do something like that. Sad
faces only.
Yeah, exactly. Something really subtle like that on a file. I like that. Yeah, it's almost like you write these captions, Jules. But no, it's a really good point to your point about friends catching up, because I actually saw a tweet. Don't know if it was on this Essendon or Freo one, but someone explained that the two people laughing together used to play with each other, were teammates in some whatever league before the AFL. Really close mates, haven't seen each other for da-da-da. They're really specific, so they must have known through COVID times they haven't seen each other. And that's literally like bumping into a mate you haven't seen for, let's just say, a year and a half. Like that's what it is. So if you put it like that, then you just think it's silly.
Honestly, like, and egging. So the egg is other people that are complaining about this, obviously. That's the egg of the week. And just to close off on this, like, I worked in cricket for a few years, and what really is the difference in that environment, and these are like, they're all international athletes, but after a game, win or loss, it doesn't matter how bad or how close the win or loss was, they're all in each other's rooms having a beer after the game. And you think, like, this is the greatest thing about sport, right? Like, it's supposed to bring people together. It's not supposed to be this big divisive thing. So if we can get to that level, like,
it's just because it's on camera,
all for the better.
Just because people
100%.
see it.
People suck. Anyway, thanks Cripsy for that one.
People do suck. Let's transition. Boss of the week. I'm gonna quickly go. This one was earlier it was before the playoffs actually. So the awkward time for non-NBA fans, there's an awkward time where before the playoffs, the teams that have already made it, locked in their seed, it's like, do we or don't we play the star players? Well, Drew Holiday from the Milwaukee Bucks, let me just open this tweet. I believe he earns a certain amount of money for playing a certain amount of games. So, Drew Holiday, so he's versing the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Cleveland Cavs, and Drew Holiday, I think he has to Yeah, he's met the games played threshold in his contract to trigger the bonus for extra money. So this tweet, best day of work ever. Drew Holiday puts on his uniform just to commit a foul and leave, and now is $225,000 richer because he met the games played threshold. I just think NBA is such a crazy world. Doesn't need sound, but he literally jump ball, fouled him, they laugh. That's his job done. He's not playing the rest. Imagine doing that. Boss for 225 grand.
It's imagine if we could do that. Like we hit a threshold of days at work
Tweets.
or something, and we just have to
Take a photo.
Hour, yeah, done.
Photos taken.
It's very similar to I think last year, what's his name? Rob Gronkowski had to have a certain amount of yards.
Oh yeah, you said
before to trigger his bonus.
Yeah,
it's
Tom Brady
outrageous. Just kept it's so good though. Rate it, boss.
Perspective of people and not what normal people earn is outrageous.
$225,000 as well. Fuck me. More basketball this week, Bucks. We're all really on this. This is one of my favourite things that I've seen recently. So, Boston Celtics playing the New York Nets in their
Brooklyn
playoff
Nets,
run.
close though.
Brooklyn Nets, sorry. Close couple of games. And they after the win, they pan to this kid who looks like he's on some sort of date, or maybe it might not have been a date. He's standing next to a girl. The girl goes for a double high five, and he's just gone like, "Nah, fuck it, I'm going in for the hug." Gets his hug, and then he has this big sigh of relief.
It's the exhale that gets me.
It's the exhale afterwards, and you just know it wasn't for the close result. It was for the hug afterwards, and the tweet. Sensational to the tweet. You just know old buddy was waiting 3 3/4 quarters to get this hug off. It's brilliant.
It was probably literally nothing. It was probably such a passionate Boston fan, and then the vision captures him. But I think your story's better, so we'll go for that.
Nah, I agree. I think it was more than that. I think that man's been playing his.
Well, good on him if he was.
Yeah, good on him. Shoot your shot.
Love it. Best part of NBA Twitter, by the way. Stuff like that. Not the game.
And my last one, I just want to give another shout out to a friend of the show, James Cripsy Williams.
Jeez.
2 in 1 episode, but the good man, every year he runs a stream for the Good Friday appeal. So non-Victorians or non-Australians, the Good Friday appeal raises money for the Royal Children's Hospital here in Victoria. And Cripsy does a 24-hour stream or something ridiculous like that on his Twitch.
I always forget that it's 24 hours and then the time comes across and he's just posted something about it. I'm like, that's outrageous. Good on him.
Yeah, it is outrageous. He raised $27,000 plus this year for the Good Friday appeal.
Jesus, mighty impressive.
It's extremely impressive. A cause close to his heart. So, Boss of the Week. Cripsy, well done, mate. You're a star.
Good note to end on, except that we've got mic'd up, so that's not the highlight.
This one will be quick. I stumbled across this one again on my. TikTok. I spent a lot of time on TikTok in isolation.
Very dark night, I can just tell.
But this one is from the cycling world, and I just thought it was cool because I've watched a bit of cycling in my day, and I find it quite an interesting sport to watch. There's a lot of tactics and stuff, but there's always a section of it where they sprint. This is road racing as well. It's not the velodrome or anything like that. And they're so close to each other, right? And you're just like, what the fuck is going on in there? Well, let's wonder no more, because Velon CC have got them mic'd up and we're in for a treat. Let's go.
Nudge him. Or was he on his team?
Because that's what they do. They like elbow and push each other. Watch this one. There's a bigger one coming up. There we go. Big bump.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a real bit of interesting content. I love this about sports at the moment. Like traditional sports like this that, you know, have always been there, but the internet's just become such a cool place for them to show more. It's like F1, like with their resurgence because of Netflix and greater access. So this is all we need. Like we just need access like this. We don't need to watch 24 hours of this during a race, but to see what comes out afterwards and see these moments that are up close, like I think it's awesome.
I was about to say that use Drive to Survive F1 as an example. The things like this are so powerful because, like, if you did this and we got to know, it's usually drama, right? So if we got to know a cyclist that was quite aggressive and had some funny moments, that is literally, that could change how many people tune in for the sake of that one person because of access like this. I think it's a very relevant point.
Yeah. Cycling. That's
if I see more of it,
I
I might get into it. But I'll need more than that. I need a bit more drama, a bit more aggression, a bit more fights.
You know what we don't need more of this week?
The show?
This show. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Nice. That's good for me.
Fred, thank you. I've been on today. I've been really good.
It's because you've got a beer at 4 o'clock. Nothing wrong with that.
Someone's got to do something.
It's PM somewhere.
Friends and enemies, thank you. Well, it's 4 p.m, you dickhead. We're not recording at 4
It's 9 a.m.
Friends and enemies, thanks again for tuning in to episode 17 of the Content Catch-Up. Like Mark said, jump on Discord because we're going to try and make a real effort of sitting in there and having some chats with people. Probably a good chance for you to meet some other content creators within the industry or outside the industry that might be trying to bust through, or you might find some talented people in there. So jump in, have a look, have a chat. It's all a bit of fun.
Post your work.
Send through.
Post your work as well.
Yeah. We want to see it. We want to get some inspiration. Barks, I hope you have a lovely rest of the weekend and good start to the week. Another long weekend for us. So hope you enjoy that. Don't do anything too crazy.
I won't. Just live my life and make sure your manager gives you off Monday as well. All right.
I'll have to have a word. But thanks everyone for tuning in. As always, find all the links you need in our bio and our link tree on our bios. Follow us along, especially this show, with a couple of good examples on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever. iTunes.
Getting a bit over it.
All right, I'm going to shut up now. Yeah,
let's wrap it up.
Let's finish this
They
up.
know what to do.
Yeah, they know what to do. All right, thanks everyone.
Bye.